make it 8-0. Next time Hornets touch the ball, it's 3rd and 10, and it's Joe Venegas deep to freshman Rich Dosh. He is gone for a 70-yard score and a 16-0 lead. It was 22-zip at the half, but Kearsley was far from done. Here it's Venegas to Burnash for a touchdown. Then it's Dosh, the freshman, with the interception and his 3rd trip into the end zone. Kearsley rolls 36-8, keeping the Big Nine title all to themselves.
We've got 39 believers on this football team, and we've got a whole lot of people that believe besides that. So with that fact in mind, we brought home a championship tonight.
And now it's on to the playoffs for this championship team. In Flint, Greg Molson, News Channel 12 Sports.
Well, Kearsley, a 38.
This spot in the playoffs. 2 of the finest coaches ever to coach in high school in the state of Michigan. What would you expect? I mean, it comes down to the last game of the year, playing for the championship, playing for the playoffs. This is what it's all about.
Well, big fella, Gene, you've played in a lot of big ball games at Southwestern High School in Michigan. What's going through these kids' mind in preparation for this ball game tonight?
Well, probably a lot of things, Pat. They're nervous, they're anxious, they're ready to go. They've been coached very well. Both teams are full of just solid players and solid kids, but probably more than anything, the seniors. That this could be their last football game, and this is a huge game for these seniors. And there's going to be a lot of seniors out there in the field today. They're going to perform. You want to watch players giving their all. Watch the seniors on both sides.
Well, not only is the conference championship at stake tonight, Kearsley is already guaranteed at least a share of the title, regardless of tonight's outcome. Powers with a win can cause a major shakeup in conference play, and possibly 4 teams in the Big Nine could get their mitts on that first place trophy. If Powers wins, it could be Powers, Kearsley, Owasso, and Carmen Ainsworth all time for the championship.
I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that television 11 o'clock tonight.
No question.
It's been just another year in the Big Nine Conference. That's, it's year in, year out. This conference, the teams play well. They play well against each other. There's very few years that a team goes undefeated in this conference. 1 and 2 losses normally will win this conference.
It's amazing the balance that we've seen this year, the parity with teams knocking each other off each week. I mean, you can throw out the records. It has been the case this year in '95. I mean, with the Flushing beating this Kearsley squad. I mean, Powers beating Owasso, Carmen beating Powers. You can go either way with that, but it's been just a balanced '95 campaign.
And I tell you, Pat, it's been a balance, but they're fine football teams. These teams that have these 2 losses that are knocking on the door of a co-championship, they're good football teams, and we'll see it tonight. Both these teams deserve the championship. Of course, Kearsley's already won it, but I'm sure they'd like to win it all alone, going away and jet into the playoffs.
Well, there's tonight's officials. The Zebras men in this Big Nine Conference Championship game. Phil Long's your referee, umpire Jared Delisle, line judge Tom Mora, a neighbor of mine, back judge Jeff Flynn, and the linesman Bill McKinney. Well, Gene, we talked about the Big Nine ramifications. Also, postseason playoffs are also in order for both of these schools. Right now, if the season ended today, both would be in the playoffs, but the season's not over. They got 1 ball game left to play, and as we speak, both Powers and Kearsley are rated 4th in their respective regions. The Chargers in Double B, Kearsley in A must-win situation for both clubs to move on to the postseason.
For both clubs, Pat, this is it. It's a must-win for both clubs, and that's what this is going to make it a great game. There's a lot of keys, and we can get into that later, but I just think, like I said just a few minutes ago, watch the seniors on these clubs. Watch the seniors, because both coaches rely heavily on senior leadership in their programs, and that's why they're such great programs. Keep an eye on that tonight.
Here come the visitors in Powers Catholic onto the field. They'll be wearing the white and blue. Let's talk about the game keys. We'll tease them just for a moment. No question, the defense is really going to be the big key tonight. The Kearsley offense, though, may even be the bigger key. That was the difference for Kearsley in that loss 2 weeks ago against Flushing. They coughed it off at bad times, and that gave Flushing the victory.
Any big game like this, you cannot have the turnovers. You have to play solid offense. You have to play good defense. You cannot turn the ball over. You cannot make the mental mistakes. You hear it all the time, but, Pat, it's a fact. Don't make the dumb mistakes.
Well, let's talk about some individuals. First of all, for Bill Tucker's Powers Catholic Chargers, Mike Miller, a senior, leads this Charger offense. He's a flanker, he's a senior, and he's third in the conference in scoring, 10 touchdowns this season. Also one to watch is the fullback in Jack Mathers, 8 touchdowns. Hopefully will be the workhorse.
Yeah, solid kids, solid players, tough kids. Yeah, keep your eye on them tonight. They will be the workhorses, and they're both fine football players.
Here comes Jack Pratt's Kearsley Hornets wearing the blue and gold of Kearsley. And they're fired up, coming to the center of the field. Let's talk about Kearsley now, some of their individual standouts. Toby Mitchell. This seems like this kid has been around this Kearsley program for years.
It's got to be a red shirt. He redshirted a couple years, Toby did. But
well, he's the leading scorer in the Big 9 Conference, and he's got over 1,000 yards rushing again. Yeoman's work for him.
It's another outstanding football player. They're going to need him to perform.
Well, individually for that Kearsley defense, which is, oh, by the way, the best in the Big 9 Conference. Listen to these numbers. They've allowed just 33 points in 8 ball games, 4.2 points per game. That's just an amazing number, and they're led by the linebacking core of seniors Freddie Schultz and Joe Manzardo, and you might not find two better linebackers in the entire county.
No, watch these two players. They're going to be all over the field. They fly around. They're great football players. Both these kids could play at the next level.
Well, we're just about set to go for the kickoff, and Powers is going to kick it off to begin things. Once again, let's go over the ramifications in this one. The Big 9 Conference Championship is on the line. Kearsley, we have already mentioned, has clinched a share, but Powers can cause a major shakeup with this W. And also, the postseason play is also riding on this one. Both teams need a W to move on to week number 10 in the state playoffs. So Powers will kick it off, and doing the kicking for the Chargers, number 84, Jaron Miles. And it's a deep kick. That's taken by the return man in Kearsley, and he's wrestled down right at the 20-yard line. That was number 12, Ryan Ananek. Won't find a better coaching matchup. Two of the mainstays in this county. Jack Pratt taking on Bill Tucker.
This could be fun to watch the strategies that will happen throughout the game tonight, Pat. I mean, both of them fine football coaches, and I'm sure this is a personal challenge for each of them.
See what kind of tricks they pull out of their bag tonight. Ought to see all kinds of different unique plays from their respective coaching staff. Joe Venegas leads this Kearsley offense, and Toby Mitchell, boy, did he take a pop from one of those linebackers. Big number 18 for the Chargers, put a wallop. That was Matt Regal actually coming up from his secondary spot, and boy, did Toby feel that one.
He came in hard and quick and made a good hit. Key on this Toby Mitchell, though. Watch the quickness this kid has.
Here's his Kearsley Hornet offense now, done at split end. Salisbury, Sagari, Grimes, Bowling, Schaefer, and Schultz up front. Venegas, the QB, Burnash, Mitchell, and Dosh round things out. Rich Joss, just a freshman, brought up a week ago from the junior varsity. Venegas fumbles the football, and he'll fall atop it, and he'll be spotted down right there.
That's what we talked about in the opening, Pat. We don't want to make those mistakes on either side of the ball. There he just had just a little bit careless with the football as he was coming out.
Venegas loses 3, so it'll be third and 11 rather, from the 19-yard line for Kearsley. Here's this Powers defense now out of the 4-3. They work Buck, McCara, Kujay, and Buzik up front. Miles, Reynolds, and Meisner. The linebackers, Sage, Miller, Regal, and Roy, are in the secondary for Bill Tucker's club. Venegas to throw, going long. He's got a man, and it's caught. And we talked about him. That is the freshman, Rich Dosh, followed it in. It's a first down for Kearsley.
How about that, Pat? One of the first big plays of the game by a freshman playing in the league championship. He's got to be a good athlete.
Oh, no question about that. 20 yards on the hookup, Venegas to Dosh. Here's another look.
Watch the replay. We see Dosh come from his flanker position to the wide side of the field. Yeah. Just throw and catch.
Brian Sage on the tackle. Back comes Kearsley. Toby Mitchell picks up a couple. Got it up over the 40 to about the 42-yard line, close to 3.
Also, 44 John Reynolds on assist on that last tackle for the Chargers.
John Reynolds, the linebacker, in on that tackle. with a couple of other Chargers. So give Toby Mitchell 3 on that effort, and it'll be 2nd and 7 for Kearsley from their 43. Powers puts up big points, but they allow big points, and that's been Bill Tucker's problem this year. Venegas to throw, has time, and he's got a man, and it's complete.
Oh, he's still going.
He breaks away, and he'll be hauled down inside the 20 for a big gain for the Hornets.
Not a thing fancy about that play, Pat. Matter of fact, he was the only receiver in the pattern. Only receiver in the pattern. Good throw, good catch, and what great hustle after he caught the football.
41 yards on that hookup. Here it is.
Watch another number 12 come. Just a simple out. Good throw, good catch. Good strength.
And Mike Miller saved a Kearsley touchdown. Kearsley has it at the Powers 16, 1st and 10. And there's a timeout on the field, and I believe Powers called it.
Coach Tucker definitely saw something. They need to make an adjustment right now. Couple passes like that really hurt him in this drive.
Well, we built the running game in the open, and in the first couple of plays, Powers stuffed them.
I hate it when that happens.
The air attack of Kearsley, that's been a big story in this opening drive.
Well, we can see they can throw the ball too. And if you're going to be a good running team, I guarantee you're going to be able to throw the ball a few times a game. You have to loosen them up.
Well, this is Joe Venegas' 2nd year as the Kearsley quarterback, so he's got some experience, and he's shown it thus far, throwing 2 perfect strikes in this opening series. There you see the Kearsley sideline. Gorgeous Friday night for football, week number 9. Cool breeze, but it's dry thus far. Hold our breath. Back to action, 9:19 to go, first quarter. Kearsley has it 1st and 10 at the Powers 16-yard line. That's Toby Mitchell trying to sling it outside. And he'll get it inside the 15, about the 14-yard line, as a pair of Chargers teamed up. Jaron Miles along with Mike Miller on the stop.
Good strong running, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If Powers Chargers do not start wrapping and tackling, it's going to be a long night. They're getting to the ball, but they need to wrap and tackle. Another timeout. Kearsley side.
And official's timeout, rather, is I think Freddie Schultz plays tight end on offense and linebacker on the defense. Has an equipment problem, I think. And this is a big ball game for Freddie. Not only is this his senior year, his final ball game, quite possibly for Kearsley, but he's a transfer from Powers.
Great football player.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good one. They need to get him back in the ball game.
Mitchell picked up 2 on that last offensive set, and here we go on 2nd down. That's the fullback in number 36. That was Mark Burnash, 5'11", 193 senior. Went right up the middle and just went through the arm tackles of Powers. Tiptoes into the end zone, a 14-yard TD scamper. Kearsley's on the board 6. They lead at 6-0.
Well, it's running with power and quickness, keeping your legs high. Good strength going through the middle, and I guarantee there was some good blocking going on as well. Made that drive look easy, didn't they, Pat?
Yeah, 7 plays, 80 yards.
Weren't even challenged.
Took about 3 minutes, if that. Quick work for Jack Spratt's Kearsley offense. Hornets will go for 2. That high formation set. They'll pitch it out, Mitchell. Mitchell puts his hat forward, shows some strength, crosses the goal line. 2-point conversion is good.
I'm going to tell you something. That was an individual effort right there. If we can get that on replay, I don't know if we have an opportunity to see it again, but Mitchell put his head down and drove his legs and wanted to get in that end zone. Determination right there.
He really didn't have many blockers in front of him.
No, he didn't. Powers defense that play well.
Well, we won't have an opportunity to take a look at that, but Toby Mitchell.
Trust me, the Powers defense was there. They defensed that play very well. Toby Mitchell ran right over him.
8:33 to go, opening quarter. Kearsley leads Powers 8-0 in this Big 9 Conference Championship game. Kearsley strikes first on their first offensive series. A 7-play, 80-yard drive capped off by Mark Burnash with a 14-yard touchdown run. Toby Mitchell adds the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0.
Well, that's a confidence builder right there for the Kearsley offense. They weren't even challenged. Not even challenged in that drive.
Scott Air will kick it off for the Hornets. Mike Miller, the deep man, standing at his own 10 for the Chargers. A knuckleball, and Miller finally hands it from his 10. Looking for a wall, and he gets it as he tries to turn it outside, and finally knocked out of bounds close to the 24-yard line where Powers will operate offensively.
Mike Miller taking that kickoff, bringing it back a couple yards, and then it's pushed out of bounds to number 10, Dwayne Dunn.
Well, we're going to see some hard running from the Powers backs, big, strong kids we talked about earlier, but we're going to see some cracking on defense by Kearsley as well. And key on number 16, middle linebacker, Fred Schultz.
Here's your Powers offense led by the quarterback and Tim Shosky, Corey Graham at split end, Huddleston, Barrows, Hammaker, Johnson, Jubar, and Zingerly are the linemen. Mather at fullback, Cardani at halfback, and Mike Miller the slot back. Miller and Mathers are two to watch for this Powers offense. Here we go on 1st and 10. And the motion man is Tennant. And they give it to Mathers. And Jack Mathers took a pop. We talked about Kearsley.
That was
Put
Schultz.
The lumber on him. Boy, did they ever there.
I'm telling you, that was Schultz in there, but I'm not sure who got the worst end of that one. Mathers came through with power.
Here's this Kearsley defense now. Number 1 in the Big 9 Conference. Out of that 5-3, they work Dunn, Daly, Schmidt, Zagari, and Navarre are up front. Schultz, Manzardo, and Boudre, the linebackers. Masserang, Ananik, and Halloran are in the secondary. 2 for Mathers, a hard-earned 2, 2nd and 8. Shosky to throw, has time, looking long, and overthrown, incomplete. Looking for Jason Cardani, the halfback. He had him, he was open, but it was overthrown.
No Powers come on with 2 tight end. With a 2 tight end set that and ran on the first play, and it sure looked like they were ready to run on the second play. And Coach Tucker trying to catch Kearsley sleeping a little bit, coming up quick. To no avail.
3rd and 8 from the 26 for Powers. The line of the first is a 34-yard line. And that's Engelman. Engelman dives for that line of the first, and he's going to be very close from this vantage point, Gene. He looks like he might have got it.
Very close, though, isn't it, Pat?
Ian Engelman, a 5'7", 160 junior on that carry.
I'm not sure about the spot of the ball. They moved the ball back a couple of feet from where I had it to make this thing close.
He needed to get to the 34, and that's exactly where the football is. And they bring out the chain gang to measure this one up.
Well, it's so important. It's first down for Powers, and it's so important that they can sustain drives all night. They have a good, solid offense. Their defense, we talked about, may be a little questionable in that first series, first drive. We sure saw that they may be. So it's important that Powers' offense stays on the field tonight.
Well, about a half a football's length, just enough for the Powers first down. Engelman on that 8-yard carry, and it's 1st and 10 for Powers from their 35-yard line. Shosky with a long count at line of scrimmage, and they'll hand it off. That's number 36, Cardani, trying to kick it outside, working off that right end. Got it up over the 40 to, looks like about the 41-yard line.
And once again, Schultz was there. Heard a lot of things about this kid. He's a good football player. I'm kind of watching him kind of close tonight to see what potential he has at the next level, Pat. And so far he's outstanding.
Actually, Cardani was spotted down at the 43, an 8-yard pickup. 2nd and 2 from the 48 for Powers. Shosky fakes a handoff, throws. Has a man and overthrown, incomplete. Rolando Tennant, 5'10", 175 junior. Shosky was looking in the direction of him. He had him once again. Another Powers receiver open, but overthrown.
Again, he had him by a step. Boy, they're bunched right in there. They're just, everything seems like it's going. I mean, they're playing with 2 tight ends, and the outside men are tight as well. And it's a strange-looking offensive set the Powers has come out in. And
well, it's 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 now from the 48. Line of the first. The 49.5-yard line. And they'll give it to Cardani. Cardani shakes off one tackler, brought right down at the 48-yard line. And left side of the defense closed quickly on Cardani, and was not able to move it upfield.
Well, just too much defensive penetration on the right side of the offensive line of Powers to give him any room at all to get outside there.
Joe Manzardo, the linebacker, helping out that Kearsley defense. So it's no gain for Powers, and it remains 2 yards to go. It's 4th down from the 48-yard line. I don't see the bunting unit for Powers. Well, maybe I do now, as Mathers is the punter, but watch him. We may see a possible fake. He's also the fullback. Ananek is the return man, standing from his 24. One of those Kearsley men got in there, affected the punt a little bit. Ananek now loses footing, gets it up close to the 35-yard line for a pretty decent return, and Kearsley will be in business here on their second offensive series. There you see your freshman return man, Rich Dosh.
Well, once again, you really have to be impressed both with Dosh and of course the coaching staff putting him out there. This is a freshman. This isn't a sophomore JV player. You know, this is a freshman.
Dosh is split out as a wideout to the right of Venegas here on 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 35 for Kearsley. And they'll give it to the first man through, Mark Burnash, the fullback. Burnash didn't get much there. Got maybe 1, possibly 2 yards on that first carry for him. Give him 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, there's no question the challenge is out there now for the Powers defense. We'll see if they can respond here. Quite frankly, they had to be embarrassed in that first drive that Kearsley had.
Here we go on 2nd and 8. They'll give it to Dosh. Dosh is tripped up, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Good defensive stop there by Powers, number 22, Brian Meisner, coming from that defensive end spot.
Great defensive play, Pat. Stuck his nose in there, warded off the blocker, and made the tackle. That's how you play that corner spot.
And Dosh picked up 2. It could have been much more, but the good play by Meisner will make it 3rd and call it a long 5. Kearsley has it just over their 40-yard line now.
Big play right here. Big play for the Powers defense.
Line of first, just over the 45-yard line strike. Got some movement from that Kearsley offense. There was a host of Hornets moving there, that right side of the line as well as the men in the backfield. All trying to get an early jump. We'll bring this one back 5 yards. Kind of a strange set there. Usually maybe see 1 guy, but not about 4 or 5.
Well, you know, that's one of the plays that when you go on the 2nd count or the 3rd count, the long count, to see if the defense is going to jump off sides, going to give you something there. And we saw most of the players were disciplined enough, and a couple weren't.
Procedure call makes it 3rd and 10 for Kearsley from their 30 instead of 3rd and 5. Venegas to throw, has time. Straight drop, looking over the middle. Looking down. Whoa! Hauled in by the freshman. That's Rich Dosh. And Rich Dosh is gone. Touchdown, Kearsley.
He's got to be a redshirt freshman. Oh. He's not a true freshman, is he, Pat?
Oh, he absolutely is a true freshman. And he's got a true touchdown. 70 yards. Venegas to Dosh. And Kearsley's on top now, 14-0.
Venegas could not have thrown that ball any better than what he did. A perfect throw.
Dosh caught it right in stride.
You know what, Pat? He had all the time in the world, too. I mean, this offensive line just gave him all the time. Let's watch the replay here. We'll see 2 Powers defenders actually run into one another. Yeah, ball right. Well, just prior to that, nice throw, nice catch. 2 Power defenders laying on the ground.
Not a Charger in sight of Dosh. Here comes the 2-point conversion try. Well, Kearsley trying to make it 16-0. Venegas will pitch it out. Mitchell scored the 2-point conversion on the first TD. He scores again, diving across that goal line. And the 2-point try is good. 4:21 to go, opening quarter. It's now 16-0 in favor of Kearsley.
Pat, I haven't had an opportunity to watch Kearsley play this year. I have in past years. They've always, and we talked about their great programs that they had. I'm going to tell you something. This is a special team. This team is good. I can see that right now halfway through the first quarter. There's some players on this Kearsley team.
Just your basic 3-play, 70-yard scoring drive. Venegas to Dosh, a 70-yard touchdown strike. Mitchell adds the 2-point conversion. And Kearsley, 2 times they've held the football, 2 touchdowns. And it's 16-0 in favor of the Hornets.
We can see on your screen there number 16. He's the man that's supposed to make the tackle. Watch on the television screen. Watch him make the hit.
Kearsley will kick it on the ground. It's taken by one of the up man and Tinnen. And Tinnen is wrestled down as he got it up over the 35, close to the 36. And the man you talked about who was supposed to make the tackle, indeed he did. That was Freddie Schultz, 16 on the stop.
Thank you, Schultz. Thank you, buddy.
There comes Powers. They'll have it now, their second possession from their 36, 1st and 10. Ran just 5 plays on their first offensive series with just 1 first down, and they were forced to punt it away. They'll give it to Mathers. He's got a huge hole. Up over the 45, close to the 46. Great opening there provided by his offensive line, and Mathers took full advantage. Got close to 9 on that carry.
Where the middle of the line did a great job that time, Pat. Where they came off the ball nice.
Joe Manzardo on the stop for Kearsley. Mathers picks up 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 for Powers from their 45. They'll give it to Mathers again. 1st down and more. He's into Kearsley territory inside the 50 to about the 48-yard line. Close to 5 on that carry for Mathers. Move the sticks, 1st and 10 Powers.
You know, you see some energy now in the Powers offense. His offensive line are coming off the ball. Mathers is running like he can. A little something going here.
3:15 and counting to go in this opening quarter from C.K. Richards Field. 16-0 Kearsley. Scored on their first 2 offensive series. Added 2 two-point conversions as well to give that 16-0 lead. Here's Mathers again. This time working that right side of the line. Tiptoes close to the 45-yard line for about 3 yards.
Ride that horse all night. Give Mathers the football and let him go all night. Tough kid.
We saw him in week 3, Gene, against Grand Blanc, and he was really the big difference in that win over the Bobcats.
Yes, he was. I really like the way he plays football. I like his toughness, the way he hits the holes. He hits them in a hurry. Not fancy, but gets the job done.
Mathers picks up 3, 2nd and 7 at the Kearsley 45 for Powers. Long count from Shasky. They'll give it to Mathers again, this time up the middle, and those linebackers came up and crushed him. He got about 1, and there's a loose football. No word from the officials just yet. And Kearsley has recovered. Wow. We got word there was a fumble from Tom Skinner in the truck. We didn't really see it come loose.
Good eyes, Tom. I didn't see that.
Maybe we can get another look at it here on instant replay.
All I saw was a collision at the line of scrimmage.
Here's another look now.
Watch the middle linebackers from Kearsley come up. Boom. Who was that, Schultz?
Ooh, he took a pop.
Talk about him all night. Boy, that kid can hit.
Stephen Bailey was the man who recovered the football for Kearsley, 5'8", 160 senior. So Kearsley will take over 1st and 10 from their 45 after the Powers turnover. They'll pitch it out Mitchell. Flag comes into the backfield, so it looks like this one's coming back. Mitchell didn't get much at all as he opened that short side of the field, and he was chased out of bounds for about 1 or 2 yards.
We're going to bring it back. A little hole in the offensive line.
Also sits by number 10, Mike Miller.
The officials talking things over with the Powers defense, so obviously it's against Kearsley. You can see Jim Newman, the head coach, one of the coaches rather for Powers, signaling to move those Kearsley Hornets back. This one's going to be a hold against Kearsley.
I'm going to tell you something, Pat, about Jim Newman. He's one of the finest assistant coaches that this state has to offer.
There's one problem with Jim. He's a Green Bay Packers fan. I won't hold that against him. Other than that, he's a great guy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Oh, he's a diehard Packers fan. I wonder who he's going to be rooting for this Sunday with the Lions. No question, it's the green and gold of GB. Here we go on 1st and 20. Rich Dosh, the ball carrier. Boy, he covered a lot of real estate, Gene, but didn't turn it upfield. He got it up close to the 40-yard line.
This is a kid, Pat, again, is a freshman, but he was only brought up from the JVs last week, and he's thrown into that starting role, has tonight been a major factor in this football game. Where was he all year? Running up some stats on the JVs, huh?
Yeah, looks like it. 5-yard effort from Dosh. He covered about 15 yards, but he got 5 out of it as he was running east-west instead of north-south, but a good effort from him. And Burnash is the ball carrier. Lost the football, but fell right atop it as he hit the turf. And he got close to 4 on that carry. So it's going to be third and a long set here for Kearsley. Third and about 11.
Jaron Miles. Jaron Miles. Third and 11. Timeout up here. Timeout Hornets.
The timeout on the field. Kearsley calls it on this third and long set. Kearsley.
This time we'd like to introduce the power cheerleader this evening. Bruce Battaglia, Gary Gall, Ginny Terrence, Tija.
Kearsley Jean has really got the momentum on their side, and a good timeout from Jack Pratt to try to keep that momentum on that side and be sure things are set here on this third down play.
Yeah, it's time to talk about things here. Yeah, well, what are we going to run? Let's get back to the basics, guys. We can move the ball on this team. What are we going to do here? Let's talk about this. And, being the great coach he is, he'll go out there and settle the kids down and get their minds back on execution. Once again, another big down for the Powers defense. They need to stop them right there. They had a drive going when Kearsley caused the fumble there. They had a nice drive. They need to get the ball back.
As early as this game is, this is a huge third down here for Powers defensively to stop Kearsley. 50.5 seconds to go before this first quarter comes to an end. 16-0 Kearsley. It's third down and 11. Line of the first is the Powers 45-yard line. They'll pitch it out Mitchell. Mitchell turning outside. He's got some running room. And he is brought down at midfield. That Powers defense, the right side especially, closed quickly because Mitchell had a lot of room to work with.
He did. The defensive backs did a nice job. The outside linebacker kept the play going outside of him. Good containment. Come up, made a good play. Big down for the Powers defense.
Huge stop. And there's Bill Tucker, Powers Catholic, the head coach.
What's he have? 2,000 wins, 3,000 wins at the high school level. One of the great ones.
Toby Mitchell picked up 6. That's not enough. It's going to be 4th and 5, and Kearsley will punt it away. Venegas, the quarterback, will punt it as well. Mike Miller is the return man, and he won't have a crack at it as it goes out of bounds. So we're waiting for the official to spot it at the 25. 25-yard punt and no return.
34 seconds left to go.
Well, a huge stop for Powers, and now they've got the football offensively. I mean, we're only in the first quarter, but that was huge to try to get a little momentum on their side, and now they've got some. And here we go, Powers 1st and 10 from their 25. Shosky to throw over the middle, has a man and caught. That's a first down for Powers. That was the tight end, Ryan Zengerle, 6'3", 208 senior.
Number 85.
Here's our country's flag. Give you an idea of how the wind's coming into play tonight. I've seen that flag whip around even harder. Kind of a nice cool breeze. Really hasn't had an effect.
No, that breeze right there is not affecting the play at all.
That was Matter. Broke one tackle.
Look at that.
Got it up over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Great second effort from him.
Ride that horse. Throw a little bit to the tight end, loosen him up, then ride the horse.
Joe Manzardo on the stop. Clock hits zeros. We've played one. 16-0. Kearsley leads in this Big 9 Conference Championship game. We'll take a break. You're watching the Game of the Week on Channel 17.
This vehicle can take you to places no other vehicle can. To strange worlds and even stranger life forms. To the silicon landscapes of tomorrow's supercomputers. This incredible vehicle can take you as far as your ability and imagination will allow. But only if you don't bail out. So stay in school. This message was brought to you by the United States Air Force.
You're watching Fact Channel 17, Flint Area Community Television, a public service of Comcast Cablevision Flint.
Welcome back, CK Richards Field. Second quarter underway, and it's second and 6 now for Powers from their 40. Motion man Engelman. And that was Jason Cardani carrying Kearsley defenders upfield as he got it up over the 45 to the 46. And he is very close to a Powers first down. And the officials call timeout. We'll bring out the sticks to measure this one up.
Pat, there's a battle going on right now in that offensive line against the defensive line in there. I tell you, there's some wars going on in there. And quite frankly, Powers is winning a few of those battles.
Hear the chain gang music in the background. It's a first down for Powers.
Yeah.
Just enough.
The chain gang.
We've got clean music. Guys in the truck pulling out all the stops for this Big 9 Conference Championship game.
Boy, this Tommy Skinner's getting good, isn't he?
Oh,
Can
awesome.
you believe this guy? The chili and the sloppy joes in the pregame, unbelievable.
Compliments of Chef Tom Skinner. So it's Powers first and 10 from their 46.
A lot of blocking.
That's Cardani. He took it into Kearsley territory, close to the 45-yard line. Close to 9 from Cardani.
Execution. That's what Powers is doing right now. Offensive line's playing very well.
Freddie Schultz on the stop. He's going to be on the stop an awful lot tonight. Listen to these numbers. 119 tackles through 8 ball games, averaging 14.9 tackles per game. That is just awesome.
That's getting it done.
Yeah. Here we go on 2nd and 1 at the Kearsley 45 for Powers. Long count from Shosky, and he'll give it to Mathers. Mathers is going to be wrapped up
Big play.
by the shirt tail from behind. A big play from Aaron Navarre, a 5'9", 175 senior. Mathers was on immediately as he got that football in the backfield.
You talk about the battle on the line right there. That time Powers' defensive line stuffed Kearsley's defensive line stuffed the offensive line of Powers and allowed Navarre to come in and make that play.
So Mathers loses 1, and it'll be 3rd and 2, and ball's moved back to the 46 for Powers. Shosky looking to draw those Hornets offside. He cannot. Mathers puts his hat forward. Nothing there. First man to meet him was Joe Schmidt, 69. And Big Joe put the shoulder into Mathers, and Mathers went nowhere. And Schmidt got some help from Ryan Ananek. And down Mathers went for no gain, and it's 4th and 2.
Pat, you saw good discipline by the Powers team, going with the long count, hanging in there well, but sometimes when you have to hold in that position for so long, you lose that edge. Obviously, they lost the edge there.
Powers is going to go for it here. 4th and 2 at the 46. Line of the first is the probably 39.5-yard line for Powers they need to get to. They'll fake it, and they'll give it to Tinnen. Tinnen's got some room. He has a first down for Powers, taking it to the 40-yard line. And you said it, Gene, that left side of the line provided a nice opening for Tinnen. He took full advantage and got a big gain out of it.
Number 67, big Ryan Johnson. Watch the block and the pulling guard here to lead this play. Number 67, Keani, pow, drove that D-back up, opened up that hole.
Rolando Tinnen with a 6-yard pickup for Powers. 1st and 10 at the Kearsley 40 for the Chargers. Shosky fakes the handoff, throws. It's batted up in the air, and we have flags come in. May have some interference here. Maybe a hold defensively. We'll see. We're seeing Joe Manzardo, 33. Whistle was against him, quite possibly. It's my fault, but we'll see. I don't know.
Mark that play right there, Pat. You had the tight end just on a short dump pass. You had the entire Kearsley defensive backfield just went to him right now. The wideout was open late downfield. I'm sure Coach Tucker saw that, and we may see that little wrinkle later on.
Well, no flag, inadvertent flag, and
2nd down and 10 for the Chargers.
well, the flag was correct, but the ball was tipped before the contact, so the play was corrected, and here is Ian Engelman. Taking it down to the 35, close to the 34 for about 6.
Number 12 for the Hornets, Ryan Ananick. Also number 33, Joe Manzardo.
Ryan Ananick and Joe Manzardo double teaming on that tackle. Jay Pratt watching his Kearsley defense here on 3rd and 4 they're faced with. Line of the first for Powers just inside the 30. Long count from Shosky. That's Engelman.
Again, he has the guys out there.
There's a flag as Engelman picked up about 3, but that came from the referee, and that's going to be a holding call against Powers. Usually when the referee throws the laundry out, it's usually a hold.
And the tough part of that, Pat, that was on the backside of the play. Normally not a critical block, important block, but it's not going to make or break that play, and that's a tough penalty right there for Powers. Real tough. Had a drive going.
Boy, they're going to move it all the way back to Powers' own 49. It's a spot foul, Gene, and it's going to be 3rd and 21 instead of 3rd and 4. Need to get just inside the 30, so Powers expect him to air it out here on this big 3rd and long. Shosky with time, incomplete. Had his man in Jason Cardani. The man on the coverage, Freddie Schultz, and Cardani might have heard footsteps.
You watch the football, you see Schultz there all night, but I'm kind of questioning why you would throw. We are 3rd in a long ways, and we're going to throw that ball 5 yards downfield, in the middle of the field. Chances of picking up that first down aren't very great.
That's exactly what was my first thought.
If you're not going to go for the first down, run the ball, and lessen your chances of a turnover.
So the freshman and Rich Dosh is waiting for this Powers punt from his 15. Mathers will punt it away, and he gets off a pretty decent one. Dosh will back away and let Powers down it. Down there to down it is Mike Miner at the 16. The 35-yard punt, no return. But the Kearsley defense, with the help of a Powers penalty, stuffs the Chargers, and Powers cannot get any points out of that series. And Kearsley will take over offensively. Time for that Powers defense to step it up, Gene, with Kearsley pinned pretty deep in their own territory. Now's a good time maybe to get that momentum they just lost.
Well, they've had a couple good outings. Last 2 series out there, they've played good defense.
They'll pitch it out, Mitchell. Mitchell puts his head forward, dives close to the 20-yard line for about 4. Aaron Cantley, the safety man, 6'2", 150 junior on the tackle.
So watching this defense, a fired-up defense, an aggressive defense will have 5 and 6 and 7 ball players at the ball on every play. That time, Powers had 5 or 6 people right there at the ball. Let's keep an eye on that and see how they're pursuing, how aggressive, and how they're hustling out there.
Mitchell picks up 4, 2nd and 6 for Kearsley from their 20. They'll give it to Mitchell again, broke one tackle, dives to the 25, going to be very close to a Hornet first down. That's the one thing that really stands out, Gene, with Toby Mitchell. Not a real big kid. I mean, he's 5'11", 190. He is very strong, and it's going to take more than just one Charger to wrap him up. When we saw it there was only one Powers Catholic player there, and Toby broke that one pretty easily.
Tough kid. He'll never give up, always running hard, always has his head up, legs driving.
Well, Toby was 1 yard short, so it's 3rd and 1. Mitchell with the good spin move, got the first, but the Charger defense was there. There was about 4 or 5 white shirts, but Mitchell eluded those defenders and got enough for the first, getting a couple of yards. He needed just 1.
Talking about the effort, a great effort right there. Hit, spin, pick up a couple yards.
He needed 1, he got 2. Move the sticks for Kearsley. 1st and 10, they'll have it from their 27. Kearsley up 16-0. We're halfway through the second. 6:05 to go before halftime. Here's Mitchell again. A lot of room to work with. First
Great
down
block.
and more. He's down that sideline. He'll take it into Powers territory and finally chased out of bounds as he gets it inside the 45 to about the 44. Toby Mitchell breaks one for a big gain.
I don't know if we have that on replay, but number 10, Dunn, wide out. Tell me wide outs, our wide receivers aren't tough kids. Makes a block, gets 2 defenders. Watch number 10 on the bottom of your screen here as this play develops. There he is, coming out. Here comes Mitchell. Can we pick up Dunn? There he is, 1, 2. Picked off 2 defenders to allow Mitchell to pick him an extra 10 yards.
Orlando Tinnen you saw on that stop. Here's Mitchell again. 5th straight carry for him. Inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Boy, they're just going right to Toby Mitchell play after play.
Did you see the acceleration and extension of Toby Mitchell and the way he was driving his legs? This kid's fired up. Ride this horse now. Yeah.
So Toby Mitchell picked up 6 on that carry. His previous carry, a 29-yard gainer. And they're in the Powers territory as this Kearsley offense. 2nd and 4 now for the Hornets at the Charger 37. Venegas will throw it, and he'll have a man over the middle. It's going to be enough for a Hornet first down. Hauling it in, number 44, Scott Air.
Just a lot of weapons. Good execution, a lot of weapons on this Kearsley offense.
Mr. Air is a junior. He's 6 foot 190. First look at him, and comes up with a nice catch and gets the Kearsley first down. He got 7. 1st and 10 at the Charger 30. Here's Burnash spinning, showing some strength with those legs pumping. Inside the 25, close to the 22.
One of those holes where, you know, a guy like, no, not Tom Skinner, a guy like yourself could run through, Pat. Just a great job on the offensive line there.
9 yards for Burnash, the fullback. It'll be 2nd and 1 at the 21. 4.5 and counting to go before halftime. Kearsley leading 16-0, looking for more. They'll give it to Mitchell, trying to turn it outside. Looking for room, not much there. He got it to about the 19-yard line. But he only needed to get it to the 19 and a half, actually, so he's got enough for the first down. We'll move the sticks.
Move the sticks, eat up the clock.
Actually, he took it to about the 18-yard line, did Toby Mitchell, so it's a 3-yard pickup for him.
This is a very dominating drive Kearsley's putting together here.
Burnash, the fullback. Got it to the 15 before about 4 or 5 white shirts were there to haul him down.
Number 18 on top for the Chargers. Kujay and Miles. About a yard gain at the most.
Kujay and Miles on the tackle for the Powers defense.
Ball ran to 15 yards.
Burnash picked up 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8. Tenth play of the drive coming up for Kearsley. This drive started from their 16-yard line. We've seen Kearsley air it out with some success from their first 2 offensive series. All of these plays in this drive have come from the ground with Burnash and Mitchell. Here's Mitchell again. Spinning and takes it close to the 10-yard line, does Toby Mitchell.
Boy, I really like the way he gets to that line, picks that hole, and then accelerates. This is a good back. This kid could play at the next level.
That's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd and about long 4.
Mitchell picked up about 3 on that carry. So we'll call it 3rd and 5 for Kearsley at the 11-yard line. Timeout on the field. Kearsley will call it here on this 3rd down set. As the line of the first is the 7. So they need about 4 yards, does the Hornets, to get a first down and set up 1st and goal.
Pat, you know, I don't see the Powers defense laying down. These kids are still flying around and playing as hard as they possibly can. But I do see a great executing Kearsley offense. The line's coming off, the backs are running hard.
Here's a point to bring up. When we get to the locker rooms for our halftime break, how important will these adjustments be for this Powers defense? And what kind of adjustments really do they have to make? Because they've been there, but Kearsley's just executed a little bit better.
You know, the way I see it right now, they're just being beaten. They're being outmanned. They're being dominated at certain positions. That it's not taking anything away from the kids or the defensive calls or anything. I mean, they're still playing their guts out there, but they're being beaten. I'm not sure if I don't know what to do. Maybe Coach Tucker would come up with some totally different defensive alignment that may slow them down.
Back to action after the timeout. 3rd and a short 5 at the 11 for Kearsley. They'll give it to Mitchell. Looking for some blocks. Got it inside the 10, close to the 9-yard line. And he is going to be short of a first down. He needed to get to about the 7.5. And Toby is going to be short by about a yard or 2. So it's going to bring up 4th down for Kearsley.
How about
Here we go, 4th and 1, and Kearsley's going to go for it. That's Toby Mitchell. Mitchell stringing it out. Got hit from his shoestrings. A shoestring tackle by one of those Chargers. Toby losing balance. And we'll see what kind of spot they give the Hornets where his knee went down. We'll see. And he got it.
He got it.
Needed one, got about a yard and a half, did Mitchell, and it's a first down. 1st and goal now for Kearsley at the Powers 8.
1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
There you see that Powers defense. Boy, they're going to have to fasten their chin straps tight here on this 1st and goal set.
I can assure you, they're not giving up. These kids are still going to come hard. This is a school, a team with a lot of pride. They sure did.
Burnash, the ball carrier on that 1st and goal set from the 6. Got it inside the 5, close to the 4 for a couple. Matt Regal and Mike Buzzick on the tackle.
Inside the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal about the 4.
Give Burnash about 1.5, so let's call it 2nd and goal. Ball just inside the 5 for Kearsley.
Watch number 10, he's uncovered. There we go, we covered him up.
1:10 and counting to go. That's Dosh in motion. Venegas to throw. 2 Chargers in his face. He's got a man. That's Rich Dosh.
Guess who?
Kearsley touchdown.
That's the freshman. Having a game of his life. First game on the varsity.
2nd touchdown on the night for Rich Dosh, the freshman. This one a 5-yard TD reception. His first touchdown from 70 yards out. Here's another look at the Kearsley touchdown.
You know, we just picked up the tail end of that, but quite frankly, it was a great thrown football. And he stood in there big, strong, and till the last split second to get rid of that ball, too.
22-0, Kearsley, 1:02 to go before halftime. They'll go for 2 to try to make it 24-0. Venegas with time, looking to the end zone and overthrown, incomplete. 2-point conversion fails. As he was looking for Alex Messering, a 6-footer, 170-pound junior. But it's been all Kearsley. And they lead it 22-0. How about that scoring drive, Gene? Started from the 16, 14 plays later, they finally get 6. Here's another look, a complete look at the TD.
Look at Dosh going in motion. Watch Venegas stay right in there, stay right in there. Good throw.
Boy, not a Charger defender in sight.
I mean, was he wide open or what? Oh my gosh. This is, I'm sorry, Pat, but this is one of the finest Kearsley teams I've seen at this school. I've seen a few of them over the years, like we talked about earlier. But this first half was a clinic, I'm telling you right now.
Well, Gene, you've been a part of a similar situation, a similar game. Your sophomore year, wearing the maize and blue of Michigan. You beat an Ohio State club 22-0. This one is kind of mapping its way out the same way.
And you know, Pat, as we watch the return,
That's taken by Matt Buck, one of those up men, a short kick from Kearsley. Not letting those speedy return men, the deep men for Powers, have a crack at it. Powers has got some pretty good field position. They'll work from their own 35 here.
So say both these clubs are going to go into halftime, and you know, Kearsley is up by 3 scores, 22 points, but I believe me, Jack Pratt won't let these kids know it.
Shosky working out of the gun, under a minute to go. Shosky will throw it, has a man, it's caught. As they get about 5 yards, does Powers, and Ian Engelman hauls it in and steps out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. Top of the clock with 46 and 1/10 seconds to go before the half. Well, they call it 4 on the catch by Engelman. Second and a short 6 from the 40 for Powers. Shosky out of the gun. He'll throw, has a man, it's caught. Orlando Tinnen catches at the 48-yard line. 8 yards and a first down for Powers, move the sticks. Clock stops to move the change, 40.8 to go, now it rolls. Again, out of that hurry-up offense they work. Shosky with time. He'll avoid pressure, he'll keep it himself, taking it into Kearsley territory. Oh, did he take some pops from the front and back as he took it to the 45 of Kearsley, but boy, did he pay for it, did Shosky. I mean, first he took a pop from the front, then he took one from the back. He's hurting from all angles. Well, got a timeout on the field. Powers calls it. We'll take a break ourselves. 22-0 Kearsley. You're watching the game of the week on Channel 17.
Road work ahead, that's what the sign said. Means you're gonna meet us, so get it in your head. Slow down! We're the cone crew telling you what to do. When you see us, don't fool around. Slow down! Those road lines might be lying. Expect the unexpected, so we feel protected. Slow down! We're no match for a car or a truck. Don't forget it, if you hit us, we'll be out of luck. Slow down! Behind us is a girl or a guy. Give them a break, cause they don't wanna... Slow down!
You're watching back Channel 17, Flint Area Community Television, a public service of Comcast Cablevision Flint.
To 3,000, maybe 3,500 on hand for this Big 9 Conference Championship game. We've got 25.5 seconds to go before halftime. Kearsley has just dominated Powers here in this first half, leading 22-0. Powers now operating on this hurry-up offense. This drive started from Powers' own 35. They've taken it now to the Kearsley 45. And they're moving the football. Here, out of the gun they work. Shosky will go long, not a man in sight. The only man close to it was Rich Dosh, the Kearsley defender. Well overthrown and incomplete. Incomplete pass, stops the clock with 20.4 seconds to go. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 3 as Shosky picked up 7 on the quarterback keeper on first down. 3 receivers for Shosky. He'll take the snap from the gun. Throws quickly and almost intercepted by one of the Hornet defenders. Brian Halloran, the 5'5", 140 junior, came from that DB spot, almost had a pick, and he had a lot of room to work with if he would have hauled it in.
You know, Pat, when you think about something and you don't say it, I just thought about, you know, they have to be careful here. You believe me when I say that?
I'm thinking the same thing. I am thinking the exact same thing.
Just be careful. One more score would put this game right away.
On 4th and 3, not sure what happened there. Maybe Powers tried to catch the Hornet defenders off guard, as I think Mathers, the running back, took the snap instead of Shosky, but it didn't work out, and Powers loses a couple of yards on that play. And they turn it over on downs, and Kearsley in no hurry as the clock runs, and this is going to do it. As Powers and Kearsley will head to the locker rooms, and it's been all Hornets team, 22-0 over Powers in this Big 9 championship game.
Just a superb first half of football by a good football team, and just domination. Did everything that they wanted to do. Controlled the football, scored points, played good defense, dominated the half.
Well, we've seen why Kearsley has had just one setback in '95 with 7 wins. This is by far, from the looks of it in this first half, the supreme club in the Big 9.
I don't think there's any question.
Well, we'll take a break. 22-0 our score at halftime. Well, when we roll to this break, enjoy some halftime music provided by the Kearsley Hornet marching band. Sit back and enjoy the playing of the trombone and the beating of the drums from the blue and gold marching band. .24 minutes of play. They lead it 22-0. A dominating offensive showing by Jack Pratt's Hornets. That's been the difference. They lead it 22-0 along with Gene Johnson. This is Pat Daly, and Gene, been impressive. Toby Mitchell has led the way on the ground for the Hornets. 13 carries, 70 yards with 2 two-point conversions. But the big standout has been the freshman in Rich Dosh for the Hornets. 2 touchdown receptions of 70 and 5 yards. And as you said, he can't be a freshman. Must be a redshirt.
Redshirt freshman. Yeah, I think he's a redshirt freshman. No, I tell you what, that was a great first half of football by Kearsley. You know, it's one of the better Kearsley teams, if not the best Kearsley team that I've ever seen here. These kids are good. They're playing hard and dominating this football game to this point.
Well, coming in, Kearsley already has at least a share of the conference championship. They're 7-1 with a full game lead over Powers at 6-2, along with Owasso and Carmen Ainsworth. Powers has really got their work cut out for them to cause that major shakeup in the conference. Possibly 4 teams, when this night is all said and done, could have a share of the championship. That's important, Big 9 conference championship. But also postseason play is still very important for Kearsley. They're currently ranked number 3 in Region 1 of Class A, behind Saginaw and Lapeer West. For Powers, they're rated number 4 behind Belding, Bay City, John Glenn, and Kingsford in Class BB Region 1. Both of these schools got to come away with a win, Gene, in order to move on next week in the playoffs.
And when you're down 22-0, and you have half a football game to go, it's going to be a huge task. But I'm going to tell you something. Powers team came back on. You know they're fired up. You know they made some adjustments under the coach Tucker. We'll see what happens here.
So Powers will have the football, and we'll see what happens when they'll have that football first, as Air will kick it off. A short kick, and it gets away from the return man. That is Engelman. Engelman will take it all the way from his goal line. He'll lose his footing and get it up over the 5 to about the 7-yard line. Big mistake from him.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where the ball got by him and he felt he had to pick it up. He should have let the ball go into the end zone. There was no real pressure when he did pick the ball up, and I tell you, a tough way to start this half out for Powers.
Here's your Powers offense now. Corey Graham at split end, along with Huddleston, Barrows, Hammaker, Johnson, Jabbar, and Zingerle are at that offensive line. Tim Shosky at QB. Jack Mather is the fullback, and he had a pretty good first half. Cardani and Miller round things out offensively for Powers. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their 8-yard line. Long count from Shosky. We saw a lot of that in the first half. He begins the second half the same. That's Mather, the ball carrier, can get it up close to the 15-yard line, does Mather. About 7 from him.
Tell you what, we saw Schultz, their great middle linebacker, in on that tackle, but he was in on that tackle 5 yards, 6 yards downfield. He was blown away, as the other linebacker and some of the linemen were in that play. Powers came flying off the ball.
Well, coming into this ball game, Gene, Kearsley, as we talked about, has given up just an amazing 33 points through 8 ball games, allowing just 4.2 points per game. And Powers has sported the goose egg through 24 minutes. As we begin this third quarter, they're trailing 22-0. Here on 2nd and 3, they'll give it to Tinnant. Tinnant has a first down as he gets it up over the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Close to 7 from him, and it's a first for Powers.
Once again, you've got that offensive line coming off that ball now. Fresh legs, new enthusiasm.
Here's this Kearsley defense. Best in conference, possibly the best in the county. It's Dunn, Daly, Schmidt, Zagari, and Navarre up front. Linebackers, you won't find a better core in the county. And Schultz, Manzardo, and Boudreau. And Messerang, Ananik, and Halloran round things out for the Kearsley secondary. 1st and 10 for Powers from their 22 after that 7-yard pickup from Tinnett. Not much there for the runner. I believe that was Mather who got the ball. And it was Navarre on the stop. And Mather picked up just 1 yard on that carry. Hope to hear from Mike Gutowski in the second half, Gene. We were expecting him for the first half, but he got caught up.
There's been a Wallace
accident
sighting
on 75, so we'll hear from Wallace with some sideline tidbits, we hope, in this second half. 2nd and 9 now for Powers from their 23. Shosky fakes the handoff, has all day to throw it. He'll go long. Looking for Miller. It's batted up in the air, and it's intercepted. Alex Messerang, a 6', 170 junior, hauls in the tip ball, and it's a pickoff for Kearsley.
The pass, the ball was in the air a long time, Pat. Defensive backs had time to adjust, and a nice play by sticking with the football and making the interception.
There's 4 or 5 white shirts around just that one receiver.
Ball is hung up there for quite a while. Watch the concentration here, though. Boom, nice concentration.
Check that blue shirt. So it's an interception for Kearsley. They'll take over from their 45, 1st and 10.
Busted play.
Looks like it is a busted play. Venegas will keep it himself, taking into Powers territory for a pretty decent gain as he got it close to about the 47-yard line. Close to 8 from Venegas on that busted play.
Just like he started off the game when he fumbled the football there, looked like he just didn't have it, had to regroup a little bit, and by the time he did that, the back was by, so he had to take it himself and only pick up 9.
Timeout on the field. Joe Venegas leads this Kearsley offense from that quarterback spot. As we'll try to get that Kearsley offense to you. As here it is. Here's Dunn at split end. Salisbury, Zagari, Grimes, Bowling, and Schaefer, along with Schultz up front. Venegas at QB, Burnash, Mitchell, and Rich Dosh, a freshman who had a big first half. 2 touchdown receptions from 70 and 5 yards out. Watch him in the second half. He's wearing 30. He's a good one. Speaking of good ones, here's Toby Mitchell, who's got the first down for Kearsley inside the 45, close to the 43-yard line. Needed 1. He got about 3. Moved the sticks for Kearsley.
You know, Toby Mitchell's a wrestler. He has great balance. And I'm sure a lot of that comes from the sport of wrestling. He's a quick kid, a good runner.
Here's Powers now out of that 4-3. Got their work cut out for him in the second half. Buck, McCarra, Kujay, and Buzik up front. Miles and Reynolds along with Meisner are in that linebacking core. Sage, Miller, Regal, and Roy are in the secondary. 1st and 10 for Kearsley. And not much there on that first down play. That was Burnash, the fullback. And Burnash had a big touchdown run in the first half.
You know, getting back to Mitchell, I'll finish what I had to say on him. He's a good back. He's a quick back, but he's not a fast back. He's not going to, once he hits the corner, he's not going to outrun a lot of defenders. He's a lot like a fellow teammate of mine, Rick Leach was. He's a great All-American quarterback and very, very quick, but not real fast.
Burnash got about a half yard, so we'll call it 2nd and a short 10 at the Powers 43 for Kearsley. Here's Mitchell. Boy, can he explode from that stance. He takes it inside the 35 to about the 34. Close to 9 on that effort from Mitchell.
Give him a crease, and he's going to pick up some yards. And he got the crease there.
So 3rd and a short 1 coming up for Kearsley. Kearsley began the opening quarter with a bang on their first 2 offensive series, coming up with 2 touchdowns. And they've never looked back after getting that lead. 3rd and 1 at the 34. It's Mitchell again. He's got a first down, taking it close to the 30. Got about 4 and moved the sticks for Kearsley. John Reynolds on the tackle for Powers.
You know, there's not a lot you can say in situations like this when this team is executing so well. You know, what does Jack Pratt say? You know, just keep it up, guys. You're playing a good ball game.
You're dominating the line of scrimmage. Your execution is just perfect right now. You're driving the ball. We're eating up the clock. Hey.
6:45 and counting to go, third quarter. Kearsley leading 22-0. First and 10 for the Hornets at the Powers 31. Mitchell, the ball carrier. And he was met immediately, and he got it to about the 30 for a yard at best. At the right side of the Powers defense was there. Getting up underneath the pile was John Reynolds along with Mike Buzzick. So give Toby a yard, and there's the Powers cheerleaders, and trying to get this crowd going a bit, as they haven't really had much to cheer about through 2.5 quarters of play. Second and 9 for the Hornets at the Powers 30. Venegas getting things set with his men in the backfield, and he'll fake the handoff. He'll roll left and look to throw.
Wide open.
He's got a man. He does, and he's wide open. Touchdown, Kearsley. Mark Burnash, the fullback, his second touchdown of the game, and Kearsley leads it now 28-0. Boy, that was a nice play. It developed perfectly for the Hornets. Burnash was wide open. Easy 6.
Well, Venegas was given a lot of time. Watch how he just kind of sits in here, boom, waits for the play to develop and throws the ball out there. I shouldn't say he was given a lot of time, but that's how the play was developed, and he just took his time and let the receiver work his way open, and I tell you, I'm impressed with this quarterback. He's had an exceptional game tonight.
Burnash ran a perfect route. I mean, he had his man beat by a good 10 yards there. He was wide open, not a Charger in sight. Here's the 2-point try. Toby Mitchell looking for his third attempt, and it's good. And it's now 30-0 in favor of Kearsley with 5:52 to go in the third. This has just been an awesome performance by the Hornets.
It sure has. And I'm going to tell you something now. As we watch this football game, this Powers football team is not that bad. This is a good Powers football team.
Well, let's send it down to Wallace. Mike Gutowski with this sideline report. Take it away, Mike.
Hi, Mike Gutowski here at the sidelines after the Kearsley touchdown. Hey, you know, the Big 9 Conference has been outstanding in the state of Michigan in all sports this year. Flint Powers is celebrating a Big 9, a State of Michigan golf championship, Class B, that they won at the Forest Acres Golf Course in Lansing the weekend of the 20th and 21st of October. Mike Austin was a medalist. His coach Don Van Orden says that he felt that he was the top junior player in the entire state of Michigan this year. Austin carded 73-76 over 2 rounds for 149, and he was the medalist in Class B this year, leading the golfing Chargers to the state Class B golf championship. Okay, back up to you guys.
Engelman on the return, a short one, as that was a squibber from Kearsley, and was that Mike Gutowski? We weren't sure. He was in disguise. Sounded like Mike.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, Powers, one of the best golf teams, no question, in the entire state. A young golf squad led by Mike Austin. Boy, they just tear up the links. They tore them up this year over in East Lansing, winning the state championship. Here we go on 1st and 10. Powers out of the gun. We saw him utilize this as this second quarter ran down. Shosky couldn't find a receiver. Great coverage downfield by that Kearsley defense. Shosky's wrapped up and dropped for a sack. Shosky loses about 3, possibly 4, so we'll call it second. Well, we'll call it a 2-yard loss. We'll move it back to the 29 where it'll be 2nd and 12.
Uh-oh. Look who got it. Unbelievable.
Intercepted. Touchdown, Kearsley. Rich Dosh, a freshman, his 3rd touchdown, and this one is in the books. We got a lot of time to go. 4:58 to go in the 3rd. And we'll have to take a look at that one again. As I was kind of looking down, we'll see.
Watch out, Dosh read the play. Read it all the way. I mean, not a real good offensive effort there, I'm going to tell you, Pat. But how about Dosh?
Awesome. A 29-yard interception return for a touchdown. Rich Dosh was his 3rd TD of this ball game. And Kearsley now leads it 36-0. Now they'll come out and try for the two-point conversion. Kearsley fakes the handoff as the man jumped over the pile, and then they went to the air, and it was overthrown, incomplete. So the two-point conversion fails, but that's all about. Really, that's been going bad for this Kearsley team, as they have just been a buzzsaw offensively. Now defensively, they force the TO, and here's a TD, 36-0 in favor of Kearsley.
You know something, Pat, I was watching the Kearsley coach. I don't need to say who he was down there. Coach Jack Pratt was, during that two-play conversion, he was down here in front coaching a kid, one of his defensive players, and what he should have done and how to play a certain play and what to do in that situation. Now that's a coach. I mean, they're up 36-0. He's over here still coaching hard on the sideline, coaching the individual players.
Short kick, and finally taken by one of the Powers up men. That's Jason Cardani. Cardani's going to be wrapped up and brought down by the shirt tail. That was Ryan Ananek on the tackle on special teams. We've seen him do the job defensively. Now he's on special teams, and a great open field tackle from him. Another look, not sure what this replay is going to be, as we'll take a look at something here, as instructions really weren't clear. As this is the kickoff return here, and
not a picture-perfect return, huh, Pat?
Nope. Backtracking were the Chargers on that play, but now moving forward is Powers. And a pretty good run there from the... That was Engelman on the carry. So Powers starting from their 20. Moves it up to about the 28.5, 29-yard line, so we'll call it 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard run from Engelman. 36-0, 2 minutes and counting to go in the third. It's been all Kearsley in this Big 9 Conference Championship. Mather on the carry. He'll have a first down as he spins away from a couple of Kearsley defenders and moves upfield. Pretty good run from him.
There's no giving up. I mean, Powers is still playing as hard as they did from the opening gun. And, you know, that's just the way these kids are. Well-coached team, great desire to excel. Look at Jack. Look at old Jack Pratt. Look at him, coach.
Jack Pratt, well, looks like he's on his way to win 208 of his career. A record of, listen to this, 208 wins, 99 losses, and 7 ties. His record over here at Kearsley, 90-55.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. That's why he's in the Michigan Coaches Hall of Fame, Pat.
Well, Coach Tucker of Powers,
he's on his way.
Not too far in the near future, probably on his way. He's 119-41. All of those games over here at Powers. Powers has just been a dominating team over the 70s, 80s, and now 90s. But tonight they've been dominated by Kearsley and Jack Pratt. As there was a 1-yard pickup there. So it's 2nd and 9 now from the 32. Under a minute to go and counting. Shosky fakes and throws, incomplete. Looking for Jason Cardani out of the backfield, and it was overthrown. It falls to the turf, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, they're just having a difficult time finding anything that works. You know, they're trying it all, and like I said, they're not giving up. But this is a fine Kearsley defense. Pat, when you give up 4 points a game on average, my gosh.
That's Engelman around that.
Good play.
Some room. Slips, but takes it to the 45, and a Powers first down.
21 on reverse. Engelman finally stopped out there by number 2, Masserine for the Hornets.
Got close to 13 on that carry, did Engelman.
First down.
And the clock hit zeros, and we've played 3 in this Big 9 Conference Championship game from C.K. Richards Field. It's been all Kearsley, and they are going to win this conference championship outright. With this 8-1 record, they are just controlling Powers. They lead it 36-0. Just a dominating effort. We'll take a break. You're watching the Game of the Week on the channel of 17.
work ahead, that's what the sign said. Means you're gonna meet us, so get it in your head. Slow down! We're the cone crew telling you what to do. When you see us, don't fool around. Slow down! Those road lines might be lying. Expect the unexpected, so we feel protected. Slow down! We're no match for a car or a truck. Don't forget it, if you hit us, we'll be out of luck. Slow down! Behind us is a girl or a guy. Give them a break, cause they don't wanna. Slow down!
You're watching Fact Channel 17, Flint Area Community Television, a public service of Comcast Cablevision Flint.
That freshman Rich Dosh quickly, 3 touchdowns today, the freshman sensation. I ran into Jim Money in the Bank Vanderbilt, the JV coach here for football at Kearsley. He said that Rich got brought up a couple of weeks ago, and he's just lighting it up. I mean, Kearsley's outstanding right now. Think about how they're going to be the next 3 years with Rich Dosh in the lineup. Okay, hey, back to you guys.
They're going to be awfully good. Thanks, Mike. Dosh is really showing things, and in a game of this magnitude, boy, has he really been the standout. Oh, big run here from Powers. That's Ian Engelman turning the corner and turning downfield, getting it close to the 25-yard line. About a 21-yard effort from Engelman there on that 2nd and 1 play.
You know, I like to see that. So I like to see a team that's down, that keeps coming at you like Powers. No giving up. You know, a team a lot like that at the next level is a Northwestern team. This year they have a good team. Years past they haven't been so good, but I'm going to tell you something about Northwestern Wildcats. They never, ever give up. That's what's happening to Powers right now. Not to compare them with Northwestern or the success or anything like that. But this is a team that's not going to give up, and we can see it right now. They want to score a touchdown.
Engelman with another nice run. He was spotted down at the 27, was Engelman. So it was a 15-yard effort on that last carry. And he picks up close to 9 on this run, and it'll bring up 2nd and short. Call it about a yard for Powers. Nice effort.
Look at this
and
effort.
Mike Miller
touchdown.
will trot in for a Powers touchdown.
Nothing but effort, Pat. Now that's exactly what I was talking about now. You're not going to shut us out. Matter of fact, we may get back in this ball game.
Mike Miller with an 18-yard touchdown for Powers, and Powers is finally on the board with 10:07 remaining. Here's another look.
Well, you have good blocking, good lead blocking. But look at Miller, just churning, getting to the end zone. You know, on their shirts they wear under the pads, it says never, 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 never quit. And they haven't.
It's been the theme of this Charger team for years. And here we go on the 2-point conversion try. That is Mather. He'll cross the goal line. 2-point conversion good. And Powers puts 8 on the board. But it looks like it's not going to be enough. They trail it now 36-8 with 10:07 to go in this one.
Well, that was an impressive drive.
A 9-play, 80-yard scoring drive from the Chargers.
You know, Pat, we've been talking dominance all night. Dominance. Kearsley's dominating. I'm sorry, but Powers dominated that drive right there.
In that one instance on that offensive series, Powers really dominated. So McCarthy in the Chargers will kick it off here. Dosh, and Ananik are the deep men for Kearsley. Powers looks to be setting up the onside attempt.
It's gone 10. Oh, nice play.
Good job there by one of the up men up front for that return team of Kearsley. Scott Ayer hauled it in perfectly. And ball will be spotted right at midfield, actually just inside the 50. Well, they'll move it back now, back into Kearsley territory at about the 49.5.
You know, Pat, that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it takes great concentration. You know that the other team is coming right at your head, and the ball is bouncing around crazily like a football does. That was an outstanding play there by Air.
Well, we've had a running clock, Gene, ever since Kearsley put up 35 on the board with the mercy rule in effect. As the clock will run, and Toby Mitchell, speaking of run, runs it inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line, close to 12, and Toby Mitchell is really getting things going here.
Pat explained to me, and I'm sure many of the viewers, what you just said about the running clock.
Oh, I believe it's a Michigan High School Athletic Association rule where when there's a 35-point advantage, the official timekeeper then runs the clock, with the mercy rule being in effect.
Now that's when the leading team has the football, or?
Yes. Well, regardless when the 35 points are tacked on, I believe. As Toby Mitchell is the ball carrier this time, trying to work left, is stuffed by that right side of the Powers defense.
Miles on the stop for the Chargers.
That was Miles on the stop for the Chargers. And Mitchell picks up 2. So it'll be call it 2nd and 8.
This is a great opportunity for the coaching staff, Jack Pratt and his coaching staff, to make sure that every one of those seniors who hasn't played a lot during the season, who stuck it out, who's practiced hard, will get in and play a good full quarter of football. And I see that happening now. He's running some new players, fresh players in and out of there.
Venegas gives it to the first man through, and not much there for Burnash, the fullback. Burnash, for the most part, has had some pretty decent carries tonight, but that time he was held in check. Powers defense, as we talked about, never quit, and coming off the ball rather well on this defensive set, and they force Kearsley now into a 3rd down and 10 situation at the 38. Burnash was actually sent for a 2-yard loss there to bring this 3rd and 10. They'll pitch it out, Mitchell, and Toby, it doesn't get anything at all as he was brought down right at the line of scrimmage. And Powers stops Kearsley, and it'll bring up 4th down and 10.
Miles and Reynolds on the stop for the Chargers.
Just good hustle, good pursuit.
John Reynolds, the middle linebacker, one of those Chargers getting over there quickly. You see the backside of Mark Boudreau, 5'9", 175, senior number 6. And for these seniors, Kearsley, well, it's not going to be their last ball game. They're going to move on to the state playoffs next week. So Mitchell lost a yard, and now Kearsley will call timeout. Stopping the clock with 7:09 to go in this one. And it's 36-8 in favor of Kearsley.
Well, obviously there's some confusion there. We had number 10, Dunn, running back and forth there for a few seconds, so they called the timeout. Jack Pratt runs right out to the huddle and says, okay, guys, we're leading this ball game, but let's keep our heads in it now.
Good look at the crowd on hand at C.K. Richards Field here at Kearsley High School. They've had a lot to cheer about tonight. That's the guy I think who won the 50-50. Boy, you know he's pumped up. Maybe not just because Kearsley's winning. He cashed in with about $400 on that 50-50.
I tell you what, Patty, he's over $500 on that 50-50. He's a happy man. He said he was buying to everyone in the stadium, he said.
Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll have to look for him after the ball game.
Actually, the fans are cheering now. They see that the Comcast camera's on them, and they're all standing up and going crazy. Look at it. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Nothing better than to see yourself on the TV screen. This crowd is still here. 3,500 strong for this one. It's just an estimation, but they're sticking around supporting this Kearsley ball club, as well as the Powers supporters. We've got some Powers players, I believe, move on that play there.
3rd and short, 4th and short, go to the long count, try to draw the defense off sides.
Actually, it's 4th and long.
Yeah, you're right, Pat, I'm sorry.
But anyhow, instead of 4th and long, 4th and medium, 4th and 6, as Kearsley gets a free 5 yards after the offside call, moving it.
Like I was saying, 3rd and long or 4th and long. You try to draw the defense off sides.
It's now 4th and 6 at the 34. And Kearsley needs to get to the 28-yard line. Venegas will be down for a sack. There was about 5 or 6 white shirts there. Boy, Venegas, as soon as he dropped back, he just started backtracking because there was just a swarm of Charger defenders in his face.
The lookout blocks. Look out! Here they come.
So Kearsley turns it over on downs. And here's another look. Wow, let's watch this middle pressure come up from the Chargers.
Just watch it. We haven't seen it all night, and just
came from the outside first, and then
outside
the middle
pressure first, and then the good effort from the middle people.
Jaron Miles, the outside linebacker, was the one to put the pressure on Venegas first. And then his defenders, help from his friends, came up and took Venegas down for a big loss. Moves the football back to the 43-yard line. Powers will have it from their own 43 now, 1st and 10. As we have an official's timeout, getting that football set. Exchange the pigskins, and we'll get a fresh one here for Powers offensively. 7:02 to go in this one. So Powers put up some points on their last offensive series. And they're looking for more here on this set. See Navarre and Ananik, 2 of those big defenders for Kearsley, getting ready. Most of the starters still in there for both clubs. We're set to go. On the carry, Cardani, and he takes it up to midfield. Close to 7. Pretty good looking effort from Cardani tonight. Out of that Powers backfield, Jason Cardani.
You know, it really has been. I like his effort. You know, I've talked a lot tonight about effort, but really that's what this game or any other game is all about. If you're going to go out there and give 100% effort, good things are going to happen. I don't care what your ability is. And if you put a little bit of ability or a lot of ability with it, you give a great effort, you're going to be a star.
Here we go on 2nd and 4 for Powers from their 49. They'll give it to Mather, I believe, and Mather will take it into Kearsley territory to the 45-yard line. Actually, that was 43, and Matt Buck. He's a senior. Bill Tucker giving him an opportunity to carry the football for this Charger offense, and Buck does a nice job on that run for a 1st down for Powers. Got close to 6 and moved the sticks 1st and 10.
The seniors have earned it. They've earned the right to play. If they haven't played throughout the season much, they're certainly going to play right now.
That's Buck again. Gain of a couple. Taking it to the 43. Boy, just looking back at Kearsley's season, Gene, I mean, they rolled off their first 6 in a row, going 6-0. Then they went to Flushing. Boy, I would have liked to have seen that ball game. We saw Flushing just the previous week before the Kearsley ball game get upset by Clio. But boy, oh boy, must have been a totally different Kearsley team falling to Flushing. 14-6 for a long loss.
Mid-season blues. And, you know, it's they had a pass intercepted and returned for a touchdown, and they had another big play, a fumble or something in that line, and you know, those things happen in mid-season. Look at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Gets beat by Northwestern.
Whether I like to look at him or not, you're right. Mather loses a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 10 for Powers at the Kearsley 45. 5.5 to go. Kearsley well on their way to winning the Big 9 Conference Championship. Nothing there for Mike Miller. Looked like it was that same play, Gene, they got the touchdown on, and that time Kearsley snuffed it out, and Miller loses some yardage.
Just flat out chased down from the backside. Good hustle from the backside.
A big loss for Powers, as they lose close to 10 on that reverse play. And the football's moved back into Powers territory, back to their own 48-yard line.
Powers has not shown any ability at all to go deep with the pass.
Powers, no question, they'll go for it here on 4th and long. They'll just hand it off And that's Mather, and he took it to midfield, and that's it. And they'll turn it over on downs, will the Chargers.
I tell you what we're going to see now. We're going to see every player who hasn't played tonight. A lot of the players are going to be in there, haven't had a lot of opportunity this year. As the Kearsley fans gives his first unit a well-deserved hand for a great year, a Big 9 championship, and a playoff berth.
Here's Mike Gutowski standing by on the sidelines. Michael, take it away.
Hey, Gene, Pat, Powers, when they score with 10 minutes to go, they're in danger of being shut out for the first time this year. This is their lowest offensive scoring output of the year. Their lowest up until tonight was 14 points and a loss at Flushing. Now the irony is that Kearsley's only loss this year was also at Flushing. Also, furthermore, Flushing came into the game at 5-3, 5th place in the Big 9. Go figure, that's a typical wacky Big 9 conference football season for you, huh? Oh, and by the way, Gino, it's starting to rain here. How do I take care of this mustache? It's starting to itch. Let me know.
Oh, boy. What a character. Boy. What a character.
It's Halloween 365 days a year for him.
Only Mike Gutowski.
Oh, boy.
Trick or treat.
He's great.
Keep it on, Mike. It is raining hard. Maybe to protect your nose a little bit. Can you believe what just happened out here, Pat? All of a sudden, we're in a downpour.
That's what
out of nowhere.
I mean, that's been the story of this ballgame. It's been a Kearsley downpour, and now we get it here.
I take that we've been in a downpour all night, but the rains came just a few seconds ago, and it's...
Well, we got a timeout on the field. Officials' timeout is we'll be throwing in footballs here almost every play now. At least we'll try to get a towel of some sorts here to keep that football dry. 3:22 to go in this one. And this Class A Region 1 for the playoffs coming up next week is kind of interesting because we got a local flavor to it. With Saginaw currently #1 in that region out of the Saginaw Valley. Then you have Lapeer West #2. They're out of the Metro. Those two will be the conference champs. And you have Kearsley #3. They're the Big 9 conference champ. So interesting local flavor to that one, and that one will be watched rather closely by fans of Genesee County football. Rudy Zapata on the carry. He carried it on that previous play. He's got a pretty good run there, and it's a first down for Kearsley.
It's just great. What a great way to end a great year. Although the playoffs are ahead of them on a regular season year, with allowing your seniors to play, to pick up yards, to really enjoy the game of football at the high school level, to win a championship. Just a big, big night here at Kearsley High School. My gosh.
Big run there. As we believe that was the quarterback, Gene, was it not?
Number 47, number 47. We can't find him on the roster, but he's lining up a quarterback. You're right. Here he goes.
Yard carry on that last run from Kearsley. That was Dave Temple, who was in at quarterback for Kearsley. Brought up from the JVs. Going to be used more likely in emergency situations. And he's out here now just running out the clock for Kearsley. And good-looking quarterback. His flag comes in as Temple will keep it himself. He'll have the first down. But there is a flag, and more than likely this will probably be brought back. It's a procedure call against Kearsley. So Jack Pratt Jean's going to get win number 208, and how sweet number 208 is, as it is 208 for the Big 9 Conference Championship, and Kearsley will finish the regular season with an overall record of 8-1. Bill Tucker and Powers will suffer their third loss of the year and fall to 6-3. Well, Gene, before this ball game comes to a close, I'd like to thank the Kearsley Athletic Department. Mickey Hamilton, the AD, and Norm Shook, who's in charge of this press box up here. Kearsley really pulls out all the stops. This is just class school over here, and we say it every time we come out here. We love to come here. This is by far the best press box, I think, in the county.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it, and that's why I show up at these games, Pat. You know that.
Make your
when
grand
there's groceries up here in the press box, you know I'm going to be here.
Good groceries, as always, the subs, the chips, you name it.
I've said it for many, many years, though. Mickey Hamilton is one of the finest athletic directors that we have around Genesee County, and again, we'll go as far as the state of Michigan. The guy works hard. Mick does a great job here.
Well, we roll out the final seconds as more seniors are applauded as they head off the field, as Kearsley will just run out the clock, and running the football, Rudy Zapata. Well, Powers is denied a fourth straight opportunity to the playoffs, but it's been a heck of a run for Bill Tucker's school. And as Mike Gutowski alluded to in one of his reports, well, maybe the football team didn't come out on the winning end, but many other athletic squads over on Carpenter Road for Powers has racked up many W's, and they will continue to do so.
Well, I tell you, Pat, we go into this ballgame playing for the championship. One team has to win, one team loses, and you know, Powers once again playing for the championship of the league.
May not always come on the winning side, but they're usually in it. As Kearsley turned it over on downs, and Powers will just run out the clock as that run was by Jason Cardani. And that is it. Kearsley will run out onto the field in celebration. They win the Big 9 Conference Championship in impressive fashion by a final score of 36-8 over Powers. They will win the championship outright with an 8-1 record. Doesn't matter if Carmen Ainsworth or Owasso wins. The Powers is all, or the championship is all Kearsley's tonight.
What a great win for this school. See old Mickey Hamilton out there, the athletic director. He's out on the field just watching things over. You know he's a proud man.
As you see the players and the students all out jumping on top of one another in celebration. And Kearsley's going to move on to postseason play, the state playoffs in Class A, as they win it 36-8 in this Big 9 Conference Championship game. Gene and myself, Pat Daly, will take a break. When we return, we hope to get a word from Jack Pratt, the winning head coach of Kearsley. All that and more after this on Channel 17. Stay tuned. Well, we're getting set as the coach, and Jack Pratt is giving final instructions to his winning team in Kearsley, and now he'll head back to Tom, and Tom will get a word with him. Tom, take it away.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, from up in the press box down at the center of the football field at C.K. Richards Field. 91 wins now here for you, Coach Pratt. What is number 91 like as head coach at Kearsley?
Being at Kearsley is a great experience. It's a great privilege for me. If it's 91 or if it's our first one, I can't be any prouder of our kids. But I also want to tell you this. You can really be proud of the Powers football team. They never quit once throughout this whole ball game. I think it was a tribute to them and to their coaches as the kind of kids that they were. Our kids came ready to play. We planned on this. We started at the beginning of the year. It's a dream that's come true for us.
What was the key today? What was the difference for your ball club in being able to achieve as much as they needed to out there to win?
Nothing but they are believers. There's not a kid on our football team that is not a believer. And that's a magic word here at Kearsley. It's a magic word any place you ever go. Once you're a believer, anything is possible for you.
Jack Pratt, you have had nothing but believers play for you through the years. Congratulations. Good luck on win number 92 here at Kearsley.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Jack Pratt will go and celebrate with his team. We'll send it up to the press box where Gene Johnson and Pat Daly will celebrate our final regular season game of the 1995 campaign. Gentlemen.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Well, Kearsley, Gene started off the first quarter with a bang on their first two offensive series, racking up a pair of touchdowns and two-point conversions to jump out to the 16-0 lead. And pretty much the rest of the way, momentum was on their side. And the defense really paved the way and eventually to that Big 9 Conference Championship.
Yeah, what you had here, you had the best team, no question about it. The best team won tonight. Kearsley dominated football game. Kearsley did what they needed to do. Jack Pratt talks about believing, about magic, and just believing in yourself. And you know what? What a class act he is.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable that this guy can be coaching this long and this many wins, have the program to the point where it's right here, another Big 9 championship for him and on the way to the playoffs. Powers, with Coach Tucker, has a great, great program in itself. I'm going to tell you something. This Kearsley team's a good team, and we wish them the best. Down the road, they're going to win some ball games. And wouldn't it be neat to see a Big 9 champion play a Metro League champion next
or a
week?
Valley champion, for that matter, in the next round.
This is true.
A lot to look forward to with the local flavor in the Class A Region 1 playoffs in the next couple of weeks, with Saginaw and Lapeer West, along with Kearsley, all in that same region, 1, 2, and 3. And Jack Pratt, well, he's got a good football team, and good things are going to come their way, you better believe, in the next couple of weeks. Well, Gene Powers, well, they came up on the short end this time around, but they've been on the winning end many a times, and Bill Tucker's team, no question, they'll be back next year.
Solid programs come back and back and back and back and continue to play for championships, and they're going to do it again. Powers are going to be in this situation real soon with their football team next year probably. They've got a lot of young players that's coming on, and you know they're going to have a strong team. But again, best of luck to Kearsley in the next, hopefully, run of games. And hey, who knows? Maybe we just watched the state championship football team.
You never know. This is a good football team. They got it going on both defense and offense. A lot to look forward in Hornet country. Well, big fella, Gino, it's been a lot of fun working with you tonight, and hopefully we'll meet sometime down the road, maybe in some postseason play.
That'd be fun, Pat. That'd be real fun.
Well, we'd like to thank once again Mickey Hamilton and Norm Shook and the rest of the Kearsley athletic staff. They do a class job over here. We enjoy coming out each and every time. Hopefully we'll be out maybe the next week or so.